Hey, I'm just trying to live my life as a normal kid, but some people still see me as the famous
JC, and you're watching Jose Calamari. What's up, YouTube? I'm JC, and you're watching Jose Calamari. Welcome back to another video on the channel, bro. Welcome to the kill count again, bro. You know what I'm saying? Those of y'all who OG fans of mine who used to do reaction kill counts all the time, bro. Thanks to the support of my #1 subscriber, JJ, who's always in the comments, always in the streams, bro. I'm saying I decided to dedicate some reaction videos to him, bro. And when this is one of them, bro, we are going to be doing a kill count on the 1996 first Scream movie ever, bro. The introduction of GhostFace himself, bro. GhostFace has come so prevalent now in video games, bro, and everything in society, on t-shirts and whatnot. Pop culture, GhostFace is hitting in 2025, bro. Okay? I'm not surprised if GhostFace will get his own game, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, dude, this video is going to be a long one, 33 minutes to react to, so we're not going to have this long intro, bro. Shout out to JJ, bro. Let's get into this kill count. This is actually a recount, bro, because from, you know what I'm saying, he did this before, but I guess he had to recount it because someone, you know what I'm saying, died. He didn't count it. I don't know. Let's get into it.
Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James H. Anise, and I am so MFing excited, y'all, because we are once again looking at Scream 1996, which competes with The Thing as my all-time favorite horror movie. I can't say
all-time favorite?
how
Okay.
much Scream has influenced me. I remember running scared from the opening scene as a 7 or 8-year-old, and being proud of myself when I overcame that fear just a couple years later. I watched the first 3 installments religiously during my first horror movie obsession, back when I learned HTML just to code my own website. While I didn't catch Scream 4 when it first came out, it was filmed in my college town of Ann Arbor, Michigan. And
That's
of
cool.
course, I had a freaking cameo in Scream 5. The coolest thing Chelsea and I have ever done, besides get married. This franchise...
Are you serious?
And these
That's
kill counts
dope.
will not be unbiased. But honestly, no review is.
So, that's so cool, bro, that he had a cameo in Scream 5, bro. Social media, oh Jesus, bro, here we go. He's about to start ranting again, and it's a 30-minute video. I need you to react to it, bro. I know, let me just say my piece so it won't be a reaction video. It's so cool how far social media has came, and just how a YouTuber that did kill counts can actually appear into one of the horror movies that he covers on his channel. That's crazy, y'all. Me personally, I think I stopped seeing Scream after Scream 3. I haven't seen Scream 4 or 5 or the new one. I think I watched the Scream MTV series, bro. I was watching that for a cool minute, but like I don't remember watching Scream 4, 5, or 6, bro. I gotta actually check those out. Let's continue the
being
video.
upfront about how important this series, and especially this first film, is to me. I mean, I wrote about it in a published book. But Scream isn't just important to me, it's important to the horror genre overall. I'd argue it's one of the 5 most influential horror films ever made. It kicked off a second wave of slashers, the subgenre so integral to horror, people often think they're one and the same. Slashers were made huge by Halloween and Friday the 13th, and ruled the genre in the early 80s. But by the mid-1990s, they were a joke of their former selves, and the horror genre had largely disappeared from the zeitgeist. That's not to say there weren't good horror flicks still coming out. There were, but to the general audience, horror films were just stereotypes. They were a punchline. Scream came in and acknowledged that the genre was full of tropes, but not in a jokey way like Jason Lives had done a decade prior. Instead, Scream kept the stakes high and the horror grounded. The characters talked about the same horror movies the audience had seen in real life. It might be hard to understand now, when every movie is filled with references, but back then, it was unusual for characters to show this specificity of pop culture knowledge. It wasn't every day you were hearing references to The Howling.
What's that werewolf movie with E.T.'s mom in it?
The Howling.
The Whip-Smart script was written by Kevin Williamson, whose work perfectly captured the spirit of teenagers in the 90s. After Scream, Williamson would create Dawson's Creek and write more...
Oh, you lying. This dude's goated then. Dawson's Creek is the greatest, and I'm not going to, I don't care if it's a hot take, Dawson's Creek is the greatest American drama I've ever sit down and watched. The greatest American drama. I don't care Seventh Heaven. I don't care about none of that. I don't care about what the freak is it called? One Tree Hill. I don't care about whatever soap opera drama from America you can think of. Freaking Dawson's Creek beats it out. I love Dawson's Creek. All right, let's go.
The era. Finding a director proved a bit of a challenge, though, with George Romero and Sam Raimi both passing on the script. Wes Craven also
Sam Raimi passed,
but changed his mind after hearing Drew Barrymore was attached, and after a young fan at a convention had told him his movies had gotten too soft. Craven didn't start directing until he was in his 30s, when he made Last House on the Left, a zero-budget rape revenge film. He'd go on to make a few more horror flicks before creating A Nightmare on Elm Street in 1984. That gave the world Freddy Krueger, the biggest horror icon of the 80s. But I guess that wasn't enough for old Wes, since he made another monster hit with Scream a dozen years later. Wes would stick with the series for the rest of his life, with Scream 4 his last directorial effort before he passed away in 2015. Thanks in large part to his efforts, Scream is one of the strongest horror franchises through and through. Every installment gives a sort of state of the genre, discussing and reflecting on horror's tendencies at any given time. The first dissects slashers, the second explores the rules of a sequel, and the third caps off the original trilogy by going full-blown Hollywood. A decade later, Scream 4 came out, guns a-blazing at torture porn and the proliferation of remakes.
Yeah, I haven't seen
Another
4.
decade would pass before the fifth film tackled so-called elevated horror, and more pointedly, the more recent requel phenomenon. Aside from the first film, no Scream is perfect, but no Scream is bad either. It's great. As for the original, it's one of those movies where everything just came together. It's got a hell of a cast, an engaging whodunit mystery, and fucking GhostFace, man. Everybody knows GhostFace.
GhostFace is a legend.
The
Sydney.
first 3 Screams were released between 1996 and 2000, and were then directly parodied by Scary Movie later
Facts.
that year. In other words, Scream was the horror subgenre of the late 90s. I used to take that for granted, since I was a kid at the time. But looking back, it's hard not to appreciate its impact. Scream's funny, it's scary, and it was a massive success. And it all started with a phone call. Oh, hey, speak of the devil. Hello?
Hello, Jamothy. I want to play a game.
Who is this?
You should worry less about that and more about keeping your precious count filmable.
Oh my god. What do you want?
It's simple.
You got a script.
You get all these sponsorships. Now it's time to prove you know what you're talking about. Answer 3 questions about today's sponsor, Raycons, and the kill count script can survive.
Alright, bro. Okay, alright. Sorry, bro. This week's already been a lot long, bro. Let's get to the kills.
/dead meat.
Let's get to the kills, bro. Come on, dog. I'm already talking too much.
How many kills there were in Scream?
Like, that's a little bit corny, James, but I respect it.
The movie begins with a phone call. Oh man, someone dialed title card! Woodsboro High School student Casey Becker answers the phone
Drew Barrymore.
with his sexy voice. She says the caller has the wrong number, but he calls back again anyway. They wind up talking about Jiffy Pop, and then about scary movies.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
They name drop Halloween and Wes Craven's own baby.
What's your
The Nightmare on
favorite
Elm
scary
Street.
movie?
That movie. It was scary.
Well, the first one was, but the rest sucked.
Oh, come on, Wes. Even New Nightmare?
I did not write that line.
Oh, fair enough. I mean, you can't knock New Nightmare. It was Craven's testing ground for meta horror, released 2 years prior to Scream. It featured the actors and Craven playing real versions of themselves, while an evil entity takes on Freddy Krueger's appearance and tries to infiltrate the real world. Wes Craven's New Nightmare is a great movie, but it didn't resonate with audiences the way Scream did. I think the difference is the comedy in Kevin Williamson's script. New Nightmare is way drier.
Because it has nothing to do with the Scream kill count, by the way, James. I'm just saying.
Keep scares as its priority.
Why do you want to know?
I appreciate the extra added. And for as well as this video is 33 minutes
This whole
long.
opening scene, one of the best in horror history, is an homage to the opening scene of When a Stranger Calls. Scream's references to other horror movies are way too vast to mention in a kill count. I know I've said this before, but I do hope to make a separate video detailing them sometime. And if I don't, well, I'm sorry, okay? Before you can pull a Magnum and say, pop, pop, the caller's voice changes from sexy to scary.
You hang up on me again, I'll gut you like a fish, understand?
This threat of home invasion gets Casey jumping scared, and she reaches a fever pitch when she sees her boyfriend Steve Orth tied up outside. The caller tells her she can try to save his life while creating a catchphrase for a puppet.
I want to play a game.
The game is GhostFace's Horror Trivia Night. Casey correctly names Michael Myers as the killer in Halloween, but fumbles the ball when it comes to Friday the 13th.
Jason! Jason! Jason!
As any pedantic horror-loving kid knew to annoy their friends with, like me, Pamela Voorhees was the killer in Friday the 13th. Adult Jason showed up in the sequel. And don't even get me started about the hockey mask. Because Casey got it wrong, Steve loses his life. He gets stabbed to death in the dark. The lighting and editing is a little cheesy, but it is a solid evisceration in the end, especially in the unrated version.
Can't even show it.
Effects for Scream were done by the ubiquitous K&B Effects group. For Steve's death, they made a chair with no back so actor Kevin Patrick Walls could kneel behind it, with his upper half sticking out over a fake abdomen. The belly was filled with rubber, latex, gelatin, and fake blood that then fell to the ground, something the MPAA was not a fan of, which is why it's cut in the R-rated version. With a chair through Casey's window, we're off to the races. There's no place to hide, but Casey arms herself with a knife, and even uses her phone as a weapon when she needs to. Eventually, though, while going the distance, Casey's caught by GhostFace. Probably shouldn't have started running in slow motion, Case. That was dumb. The violence here is much more realistic than a lot of slashers, and even more impactful is the emotional moment as Casey tries to call out for her parents. They end up hearing her through the phone as she's stabbed to death by Ghostface. They helplessly listen as their teenage daughter takes her final breath. Even worse is when they come outside. It is not a pretty sight. Casey's death was done in a similar way to Steve's, combining Barrymore and a fake corpse, but this time they made a full body dummy since it had to be hanging from a tree. The death of Drew Barrymore's character was a huge twist for the theater-going audience. The movie had marketed the shit out of her involvement, so it became a surprise. Also a reference to Janet Leigh in Psycho, who was billed as the star but died 47 minutes
Are you serious? They built her like she wasn't gonna die in the trailers?
Barrymore's idea to
That's
take
crazy.
The role of the cold open victim. She was originally cast as Sidney Prescott, the actual final girl, but changed her mind about starring in the film only 6 weeks before production began. I'm not sure why. Maybe she only wanted to work the 5 days it took them.
You could have been. Oh, she could have been Sydney Campbell, the girl. She could have been one of the It final girls, and she threw it all away. And that's why Neville Campbell has it. It's not freaking Sydney Campbell. It's Sydney Prescott. Oh my god.
1996 at the very start of production. Taking over for her was the 22-year-old Nev Campbell, who had been in The Craft and 2 seasons of Party of 5. Campbell's
I see Party of 5. I haven't seen it yet.
Success. Sydney Prescott is my favorite final girl of all damn time.
She gots to
Even
be.
if her taste in dudes is greasy-haired window climbers like Billy Loomis. Sid's boyfriend is played by Skeet Ulrich, whose intensity is only matched by his good looks. He's well known now among a certain audience.
Oh, Riverdale.
His dad in Riverdale.
I knew you looked familiar in Riverdale.
Sydney's pants.
No, why my mind could not get that.
Sorry about your dry dick, Bill, but try to have some understanding.
I knew you looked familiar in Riverdale.
Only a year ago, Maureen Prescott, wife and mother, was found raped and murdered not far from this peaceful
My
town.
God.
The human highlighter is Gail Weathers, loudest clown at the media circus.
Courtney Cup from Friends.
Media criticism is a big part of the Scream films. Then 30-year-old Kevin Williamson was inspired to write Scream, originally entitled Scary Movie, while house-sitting by himself.
It was called Scary Movie.
A sensationalized news report about the 1990 Florida serial killer
from Danny Johnson.
Ripper. He was so freaked out he called a friend for comfort, and they talked about their favorite scary movies. Williamson's script was immediately popular, and a bidding war broke out between production companies. It was ultimately purchased by Dimension Films, which, along with its parent company, Miramax, was founded by the Weinstein brothers, Harvey and Bob. Bob specifically made some major decisions for this film, like releasing it in December and
Harvey Weinstein.
From Scary Movie to Scream, inspired by the Michael and Janet Jackson duet of the same name. I fucking hate that these fucks are part of this movie's DNA.
Yeah.
In my research, I kept having to see the same picture of that nasty ogre and his fuckhead brother. It was gross. Sydney's tragic recent past earns her sympathy from Principal Fonzie in the Woodsboro PD. It's headed by Joseph Whipp, who also played a cop in Nightmare on Elm Street. Woodsboro's deputy, Dwight Dewey Riley, is extra caring towards Sydney. That's cause he's the older brother of her best friend Tatum, played by Rose McGowan. Sid and Tatum Tots hang out with the rest of the gang at the Friends Fountain, which includes Grease Bucket Billy, Tatum's boyfriend Stu Macher, and Randy Meeks,
Matthew Leonard,
wheel of the group, who makes movie references and talks in silly voices.
Did you really put her liver in the mailbox? Because I heard that they found her liver in the mailbox.
Not to be outdone.
Randy's that guy, though.
Matthew Lillard makes sure to choose some scenery himself.
Never alone.
Randy's that guy.
No, liver. It was a joke.
And he will choose so much more.
I look back at that performance, I'm like, what was he letting me do?
Sydney gets back home, which is empty for the weekend. Earlier, her dad told her he was going out of town for a convention. Wonder if it's the same one Rand Peltzer got stuck at. Sid's house, like Casey's, is huge and empty, so she probably shouldn't be there all alone. Not with you-know-who calling around.
Hello, Sydney.
The iconic voice on the phone was provided by Roger L. Jackson, who would later go on to voice Mojo Jojo in the
Are you serious?
Craven never let the other actors meet Jackson.
That's Mojo Jojo?
Scary stranger voice while they filmed their scenes.
When I'm working, I have a monitor there, so I can see through the camera's POV, though they can't see me.
That's so
The
cool.
caller once again plugs my
Yo.
interview show when he asks Sydney, "What's your favorite scary movie?"
That's cool.
In response, Sydney talks shit about the genre.
They're all the same. Some stupid killer stalking some big-breasted girl who can't act, who's always running up the stairs when she should be going out the front door. It's insulting.
Her shallow judgment of horror is met with the caller breaking out his scary voice.
Do you want to die, Sydney? Your mother sure didn't.
Ghostface appears from inside her house and attacks Nev Campbell's stunt double. They talk joke, but she fends him off with a kick that sends him flying. With
Hell
the
yeah.
lock, she's forced to be a stereotype, but keeps the ghost-faced killer out of her bedroom long enough for her, 14 4K internet to connect her to the police. A Billy boy suddenly pops in through the window, hugs
He
Sid,
knew
and wants a
something.
cellular telephone. Why, I hear only witches have those devices. Witch! Ah, ghost! Damn it, Dewey, why would you hold it like that? Billy is arrested despite his claims of innocence, and Tatum rolls up in her toy car to be there for her best friend. I love Dewey as this boyish Barney Fife, who reverts to being a kid when he learns that Sydney's staying overnight with them.
Does Mom know?
Yes, doofus.
He's such a funny leading male character.
God damn it, Dewey.
What did Mama tell you? When I wear this badge, you treat me like a man of the law.
Billy and his werewolf
That's
friend
crazy.
dad maintain his innocence, but Sydney don't know what to think about her boyfriend. She definitely know what to think about Gail Weathers, though, who's slinking around the station looking for a scoop. Gail's been writing a book about the murder of Sydney's mom, but Sid didn't exactly put in a pre-order.
I'll send you a copy.
Hell
What
yeah.
happened today? I bet someone would make an auto-tune version that went viral.
I'll send you a copy. Bam! Bitch went down. I'll send you a copy. Bam! Sid. Super bitch. Super bitch. Bam! Bitch went down.
Sydney hates Gail because her book is trying to exonerate Cotton Weary, the man arrested for murdering Sydney's mother a year ago. Gail thinks Cotton is innocent, and if these
He is.
killings are connected, maybe she could prove it.
If I'm right about this, I could save a man's life. Do you know what that could do for my book sales?
Hitch in the
That's
face
crazy.
sales. She approaches the case through the proudly stated 25-year-old Deputy Dewey. It doesn't take long for her to start whittling her way into his naive heart. Gail and Dewey's relationship is so fun to watch throughout the series, especially since it led to a real-life romance and marriage between David Arquette and Courtney Cox.
Facts.
And it all starts here with this well-written and well-acted conversation.
In a demographic study, I proved to be most popular amongst males 11 to 24. I guess I just missed you.
I'm 25. I was 24 for a whole year.
David Arquette is absolutely hilarious in this
Yeah,
role. Dewey's my favorite, man. Eating his little ice cream cone while discussing suspects. He even kind of misses putting his sunglasses on. God, he's the best. Dewey was originally written as a more muscly hunk, but after being cast as one of the high schoolers, David Arquette requested he play the deputy instead. Partly because it meant he'd get to
They was gonna have him as a high schooler? Oh,
Aside from
no.
possibly Drew Barrymore, the 31-year-old Cox was the most well-known of the cast, being 2 seasons deep into Friends. She had to lock
She was
hard
2
with the
seasons
role of
deep
Gail
in
Weathers,
Friends.
Since at first, Craven didn't think she could be bitchy enough. Billy is released since his cell phone records are clean, but he's still guilty of being an asshole about Sydney's mom's death.
No, it's been a year.
Tomorrow. 1 year tomorrow.
I know what. I think it's time you got over that. I mean, when my mom left my dad, I accepted it. It's the way it is.
Damn,
Nick,
no chill.
are you stupid? This dude said when my mom left my dad, it was no. She didn't just leave and go to the store. She didn't leave Sydney behind, bro, for her own selfish reasons. She was raped. I can't believe I say that on YouTube. She was unalived and raped, and she's supposed to get over that. Yo, you should break up with him right now before you even found out he was the killer of Scream. You should have ended things with him. What your taste in boyfriends are terrible. Sydney, let me restart my camera. All right, we're back.
Factor at all to this guy.
Stupid.
The rest of the student body's just as bad, flapping their little ghost arms around with Christmas glee. After overhearing some shit talk in the shit closet,
maybe she's a slut, just like her mother.
Sydney gets attacked, but she escapes pretty easily.
Nice.
Some people think this bathroom attack wasn't from a real Ghostface, but I don't see why it wouldn't be, sure as clumsy as they usually are. In any case, it gets school canceled for the day, and Stu immediately declares he's having a party at his farmhouse. He'll carry all the women there! Principal Himbry's not invited, but he'd be too busy anyway, fondling his hair in the mirror and pointing out Wes Craven's cameo that references his earlier horror hit.
Damn little shits.
What'd you call me? Huh?
Not your friend.
Oh, Wes, you were so cute. Not sure why you're falling down while filming this, though. Himbry gets killed in his office by a Ghostface who was staying late after school. Wonder what club he was part of. Probably theater. How else would he get that sparkly-ass robe? Ghostface's costume is iconic, of course, but they had a hard time figuring out what he should look like. The script simply said a ghostly white mask. Howard Berger of K&B sketched a bunch of initial ideas.
Ugh,
they were
please.
too grotesque and goblin-y to be
That
taken
looked so
seriously.
stupid. Yeah, that looked
While
stupid.
location scouting at the house where they shot Hitchcock's Shadow of a Doubt. The perfect mask was found in a bedroom by producer Marianne Madalena, Wes Craven's longtime producing partner.
What?
Born in Lansing and went to MSU. Go green? Just this once. At first, since they didn't own the copyright
They
to the mask, K&B
found
tried
it?
to sculpt their own imitation. Production began with this version, which can be seen in many shots of the opening and every scene with Principal Himbry, since Henry Winkler shot all of his stuff in.
There's no way, yo. The coolest part about this kill count is not even the kills. The kills are like 1990s, like whatever. The background history on Scream in this is it's beautiful, bro. I was always wondering, like, where did this mask concept come from? You telling me they found a random mask that someone already created sitting in a bedroom, and they were like, "This is it." It works, and it works so good, but it's just like my mind is blown. I thought someone was just sitting down. They just got inspiration by watching like you know what I'm saying, maybe a movie of something else or something like that, or maybe just like saw somebody walking across the street, bro, wearing some wearing a different mask. They got inspired to just create this. No, someone already had this made, and then who had the copyright to the mask?
One day, right after they finished the opener. The K&B mask has squintier eyes and a smaller mouth, which is thinner at the bottom, thanks to Scream Trilogy for that info. Craven still preferred the original mask they found in that house, though, and eventually they tracked down the makers. Fun World, a small New England company, who agreed to let them use it as long as they were always given credit.
Being just a simple country boy that I am, I said, okay, that's fine, just be sure that you, in the credits, say Ghostface, courtesy of Fun World Easter Unlimited.
Boy, Fun World, you gonna make money forever off of
Fun World
that.
masks were used for the rest of the production, and are even in the opening scene thanks to some reshot inserts. Everyone in
Nice.
Woodsboro has their own theories about who the killer is behind that mask. Horror expert Randy thinks that Billy's a guilty boy.
Bingo.
Stu thinks it's Sydney's still missing father. Basically, everybody's a suspect! Billy lets Randy know he doesn't appreciate the accusation. Stu lets Randy know he does appreciate his earlobe. The town closes for curfew as Red Right Hand plays, the kick-ass dark cowboy song by Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds that was already used in an earlier montage. It would basically become Scream's unofficial theme song, appearing in all of the films but the fourth one. It's also used as the theme to Peaky Blinders, but it'll always be the Scream song to me. As for Woodsboro, it's played by the city of Santa Rosa, located about an hour north of San Francisco. Woodsboro High was supposed to be played by Santa Rosa High School, but even though the school staff agreed to it, the school board shot it down.
They didn't really want to glorify violence against children.
This isn't necessarily just a case
But
of
you missed out everybody going to
the
your school.
city, which had a town hall meeting to discuss the school's use in the production, was still reeling from the case of Polly Kloss, a 12-year-old from a nearby town who had recently been kidnapped and murdered. Craven said
Whoa.
later on that in retrospect, he understood their concerns, but he was
Yeah.
pretty pissed by the last-minute pullout at the time, thus the peculiarity at the end of the credits saying no thanks whatsoever to the school board.
They
Instead,
purposely,
the
that was
production
petty.
played by a
They put that in the
community
credits.
in the nearby Sonoma. An hour into the film, we make our way there, folks. The party at 261 Turner Lane, one of the coolest third act locations for a horror film ever. We spend more than 40 minutes at Stu's spacious, twisty farmhouse, all of which is shot on location at a house now known as the Spring Hill Estate. Located in Tamales, this spacious farmhouse sits on a hill super isolated from anything around it. In one of the top 3 coolest things we've ever done with Dead Meat, in November 2021, Chelsea and I were flown out to the Scream house.
That's so cool for y'all.
We were amazed at
You
how
get
much
to
the
sleep
action of the
there?
movie matched the house's real layout.
That's
We made
so
a damn
cool.
good video walking through what happens where. Make sure you check it out sometime.
That's
There's
so
no better
cool.
way to make a party lame though than the presence of a cop and a reporter. Dewey's here to play protector, but Gail's guile gets her into the party with him.
You're underage, son. I'm kidding. Have a good time. What's the driving?
There, she plants a camera pointed at a bunch of drunk teenagers. Gail, you were just asking for legal troubles. Later, she learns her teen feed has a 30-second delay, like she were living in the post-Nipplegate world. Speaking of nips, Tatum heads to the garage to re-up her boyfriend on brewskis. While she's in there, a Ghostface appears, ready to do his best David Byrne.
Oh, you want to play Psycho Killer?
A message from Mike. The uglier the lemon, the sweeter the juice.
Things start getting serious.
Yes, he really does.
And after the steel gets broken out, Tatum has no choice but to fight back. Ghostface, you're
Ghostface be getting
Look at you,
hit.
man. You're covered in beer. You're
Ghostface
doing
be
clown stunts
getting
and shit.
hit, bro.
Ghostface gets the last laugh when Tatum tries to crawl out through a cat door while incorrectly estimating her bust. She's stuck as the killer turns on the world's strongest garage door motor, and killed when she's crushed against the roof of the garage. Even Ghostface is like, wow, that really worked? This memorable kill was a bit difficult to do. They had to nail Rose McGowan to the inside of the garage door so she wouldn't fall out.
She look completely
Clearly
different
goes
now.
Through it most of the time. They used a fake body for the ultimate crushing shot, which had to be cut from the theatrical release. The MPAA kept threatening to give Scream an NC-17. Craven and editor Patrick Lussier had to recut and resubmit it 9 times in order to get the R rating. The party clears out as the trash is brought in. Billy Loomis, looking as greasy as ever. Stu offers them his parents' bedroom, and Sid takes him up on the opportunity. She apologizes to Billy for her chastity, saying she was afraid of becoming like her mother. I always forget how much Maureen Prescott's promiscuity is mentioned in this movie. Well, nothing like talking about your mom's sex life to get you in the mood.
Right?
Sidney finally goes to Pound Town with Billy, which is not what you're supposed to do if you're in a horror movie, according to Randy downstairs. He interrupts a viewing of Halloween to go over the rules of surviving a horror
This is the
film.
guy.
No
He's why Randy's
sex
the
is
guy.
number 1, followed by no drugs or alcohol, and finally, you can never say I'll be right back.
Because you won't be back. I'm getting another beer. You want one? Yeah, sure. I'll be right back.
Gail's not into
Oh, you
this
won't be
fetish
back.
shit, so she leaves with Dewey. He's checking out a car reported on the side of the road. The party dies down more, and the last guests leave after they hear that Principal Himbry's body is hanging from the school's flagpole. In fact, this is why Himbry was killed in the first place. It was a late addition to the script, done solely to clear out the last of the
I was
party
wondering why they
actors.
killed
On
him.
their way out, the teens drive Dewey and Gail from the side of the road, and closer together. Ooh, these two about to be horizontally dancing in the dark. The romance is cut short when they find the reported car, owned by Sydney's still missing father.
Everybody's a suspect!
Sydney and Billy are debriefing from their bone sesh when her suspicions start to match how her body felt a few minutes ago. Aroused. They're quelled when Ghostface appears in the ghost flesh and flays Billy's torso with a knife. He calls out for Sid, then collapses, kicking off an elaborate chase scene through the house. Awesome chase scenes are a staple of Scream movies, and this one starts that motif off strong. Again, check out the video we did to see how much it follows the place's real layout. Sydney winds up falling backwards onto a big old boat mattress, and the sight of Tatum's corpse sends her fleeing from the farmhouse. She takes refuge inside the news van with Gail's intrepid cameraman Kenny. Kenny's been around the entire film, just getting abused by Gail. He's played by prolific character actor W. Earl Brown, who also played a morgue attendant in Wes Craven's New Nightmare. Dude put on 20 pounds to play Kenny, since the script had Gail berating him with fat jokes. Ghostface nearly murders Randy Meeks.
This nigga
talking
just
to
watching
Jamie Lee
anything. You
Curtis
don't
on the
see it.
TV. It becomes meta when applied to his own actor, Jamie Kennedy.
Behind you, Jamie, turn around.
This is one of the only shots where Ghostface isn't played by a stunt performer. Another is a shot in the opening scene. Director Craven wears the masks when Casey hits him with the phone, dick! Otherwise, Ghostface was primarily played by 3 stunt performers. Dane Farwell seems to have done most of the work in chase scenes, and had the idea of wiping off the bloody blade after stabs to avoid continuity errors. Lee Waddell played Ghostface at the start of production, so he did the opening scene and the attack on Principal Himbry.
He got an I Killed
Stunt
Drew
coordinator
shirt.
Tony Cesare played Ghostface for the next kill that's about to happen. Cesare was previously on the kill count, doing that amazing fire stunt in the original Nightmare. God, that thing rules. Sid and Kenny watch as Ghostface lingers over Randy, but due to the delay, Ghostface is already at the van and murders Kenny with a throat slit. Brown's look of shock was so
That
convincing,
explains
the
that.
MPAA demanded it be cut from the theatrical version. Sidney leaves the dead
'Cause there's a
behind
delay.
her and pieces out through the van's escape tunnel, which is not scaled for Ghostface size. Dewey and Gale get back, and while Dewey investigates the now empty house, Gale finds evidence of ne'er-do-welling. Randy pops up and she hits him with the phone, dick! Then finds out Kenny's body is on the roof of the van. Stuck up there something good, too. She has to Tokyo drift it off. That and a flailing Sidney in the road causes Gale to crash the van against a tree. Did I do that? Sidney gets back to the house to see Dewdrop stumble out with a knife in his back. Ghostface retrieves his weapon and continues the chase into
Really,
another
Dewey?
vehicle. God damn, dude, you two have been going at it for so long. It's like, will they, won't they already, right? All this running around was taxing as hell. The whole last act, everything at Stu's house, was a single scene in the script that took 21 nights to shoot at the end of production.
When we finished it, we had t-shirts made, I survived scene 118.
Sidney can't trust anyone anymore, what with Randy and Stu both accusing the other of being the killer.
Everybody's a suspect!
She curses them both as she locks them outside. Billy stumbles out of the bedroom upstairs and all the way down the stairs. Good job, bro. He takes the gun from Sidney and lets Randy back inside so he can show off his best Psycho impression.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
With that, he shoots Randy and reveals himself as the killer. It was Skeet Ulrich wearing the Ghostface suit behind Randy a few minutes ago. Billy reveals that all his blood is just corn syrup and that the stabbing was faked. And who was his accomplice, Ghostface, for that ruse?
Surprise, Sidney.
Yeah, but was it really a surprise? I mean, let's be real. Billy and Stu have looked like murderers in pretty much every scene they're in. Look at that knowing glance. But to be fair, it's easy to say this in hindsight. I literally can't remember a time I didn't know it was them. With the killers revealed, we get a full 5 minutes in hell as Sidney is tormented by these two, who clearly love each other, by the way, or at least Stu loves Billy. It's probably unrequited. They reveal that they're the ones who murdered Sidney's mom a year ago, then framed that guy Cotton Weary.
It was fun.
While frivolity may have been Stu's only motive, the scene gets more deranged as Billy reveals his. He says his father had been having an affair with Sidney's mother.
She's the reason my mom moved out and abandoned me.
Skeet Ulrich's seriousness is perfectly balanced by Matthew Lillard's camp. Lillard's playing everything as loud as possible, fucking spitting all over the place. Some people think it's annoying, but I think it's art.
It's a scream, baby! Hold on a sec. I'll be right back.
Even Lillard has his doubts sometimes, though.
Matthew
Go back
Wilson.
and watch that. Like, first of all, I weigh 80 pounds. Second of all, I spit my way through the whole thing.
He comes back with Sidney's
You
father.
I never gonna see you anything but Shaggy,
first,
bro.
they've got to seem like they're survivors, so they play a round of stomach stabs. It's really the best way to build a friendship. Wow, Billy really wants to be Stu's friend, huh? All that bro love is making Stu lightheaded.
I'm feeling woozy here!
Gail shows up with a gun, having made her way back to the house from the accident. But the safety's on, so Billy simply kicks her against a pillar, knocking her down for a little do-nap. Before he shoots her dead, they realize Sidney's gotten away. She calls with the voice changer to taunt them, and it angers Billy so much.
You hit me with the
he forgets how to hang
phone.
up properly.
Fucking hit me with the phone, dick!
K&B Effects used over 50 gallons of fake blood
Idiot.
for Scream, a lot of which was used in this finale. It's actually what led to that line.
These little improv moments came out of because he hit me with the phone. You know, it slipped out of his hands because it was bloody.
Whether written or improvised, this scene is full of Lillard lines that I honestly quote to fucking death.
My mom and dad are gonna be so mad.
Sidney emerges
He's
from the closet
stupid.
to stab Billy with an umbrella. That scream from Ulrich is real. Nev Campbell, or the stunt performer, missed the protective vest he was wearing and accidentally actually stabbed him. Stu tags in,
Damn.
and after a tussle over the couch, Sidney breaks a vase over his head and dumps a TV on him. Daniel fries
Idiot.
him to death. Zoinks! I'm gonna go ahead and count him here, even though Stu's survival has long been up for discussion. He returned in an early draft of Scream 3, and Lillard has said he'd love to return for Scream 6, which comes out in just a few months.
I wish
So he's saying Stu didn't die?
But if he's alive in that movie, I don't want any of you future fucks leaving comments saying I got it wrong. Okay?
That's true.
I work with what I know. Sydney finds out that Randy's still alive, and Randy's face finds out that Billy's fist is still alive. Sid
punched him clean in his face.
But Randy warns them not to get too comfortable.
This is the moment when the supposedly dead killer comes back to life for one last scare.
Sure enough, Billy does, but Sydney puts a bullet in his head. She's
It's
just
over
a
with.
badass like that. All right,
Ain't no
still
coming
living
back from
after
that.
everything. Sid's dad? Okay, that's cool. Deputy Dewey? All right, even better. Especially since that wasn't always the case.
When we shot the final scene, so I came out on the stretcher and I was dead. And then Wes did a second take and he said, you know what, just kind of give him a nod or something. It shows that you're still alive.
It was a last-minute idea from Craven to keep Dewey alive. And
That's a
man,
great
am I glad
decision.
he did. Love my
Yep.
doo-doo ka-choo. The
I don't know what we do without Dewey.
Emergency vehicles arrive, and the movie ends with Gal Weathers giving a first-hand report on the Woodsboro murders. How many horror characters should have seen their deaths coming? Let's find out and get to the numbers. Oh, you can just stay right there, though. I'll be right back! There were 7 kills in Scream, a solid single-digit start for the series. The victims consisted of 5 men and 2 women, so a more than 2-to-1 ratio of dudes. This count and gender breakdown was only seen once before, in that Boy Meets World episode I covered. Remember
Right.
that? Good times. With a runtime of 111 minutes, that left us with a kill on average every 15.86 minutes. I'll give the Golden Chainsaw for coolest kill to Casey Becker. Lots of great
That's
kills
coolest
in the movie,
kill?
but I've got to give top honors to the one that scarred me as a child. Go Machete for
I mean,
Legacy
I give it to a girl with the.
It's not very good. Doesn't even
They
make
should
more
get
sense.
the greatest kill to a girl with the garage
Scream
scene.
came out 5 days before Christmas in 1996.
Alright guys, bro, I'm gonna end the video there, bro, because I already know this video is gonna run long as freak, for me talking in the video itself. Scream is iconic, bro. Scream is iconic, bro. You know what I'm saying? Always will be. Created Ghostface, a legendary killer, you know what I'm saying, that we all love, bro, when it comes to horror, bro. I am kind of concerned with how things are gonna go for James A. Janice and the Damn Meat channel moving forward on YouTube, with how everything is getting so strict with the things you say and the gore and stuff like that being restricted, and you losing money on stuff, you know what I'm saying? And not saying YouTube turning family friendly is a bad thing, but the more restrictions they get on it, the more people like these kill counts and damage channels are going to be able to, they're not going to be able to thrive like they're supposed to. So I think I propose this, YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Who the hell am I? You might not come across this video. If you do, you need to create a system on YouTube whereas, which they do have it, kids are only watching kids things. And, you know what I'm saying, people who are 18 and above, they should be able to watch whatever on YouTube and not have it censored. You know what I'm saying? It's like a completely open area of YouTube where videos can be completely consumed, with no problem. You know what I'm saying? And people saying whatever, and doing whatever to a degree, you know what I'm saying? You're not going to actually have people getting murdered, you know what I'm saying? But like clearly like movie stuff like this is clearly fake and whatnot, bro. So we should like have the lines kind of blurred, bro, and let people have their fun, bro. But, yeah, bro, hope you enjoyed that video, y'all. JJ, hope you enjoyed this kill count, bro. Scream's a classic, bro. Love Ghostface. I love the most part of this video is getting to know the different interesting things of how Ghostface and all the production stuff behind it came to be, bro. If y'all really into that, I know y'all will really like this video as well, bro. So until next time, guys, I'm JC. You're watching Jose Calamari. Later, people.